Okay. So, in what ways are women either constructed as the other or not constructed as the other? So this is asking about Simone's de Beauvoir's piece. So in her, go ahead.
Wait, who's going?
You can go.
Okay, I feel like they're constructed as other because they're constantly talking about like the difference between how like femininity and women, and then it's basically like talking about how like the construction of gender and also like women in general.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because they're talking so much about women and like all of these things that how societies use them and like how they don't want to be viewed or what makes up a woman, it's like kind of constructing them as other because it's like if they weren't other, why would they be given so much attention?
Okay.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like...
What are your thoughts?
I think that, like, it's really true that, like, if you focus on something, that it does kind of create this kind of, like, other separate, like, if you focus on it, if you give it a lot of attention, then it does create that. And I do think that she says that, and that, like, it is supported, this, like, creation of the other, being, like, woman, as in, like, there is a social hierarchy, so it is men and then women, and that is created and supported by all of this, and women speaking on it is speaking on the fact that, like, we are treated differently, and so we are the other. But, like, she opens the piece talking about how, like, she doesn't, like, she has avoided talking about the subject because she thinks, like, it's not new and there's too much time devoted to it. But then here she is writing this entire piece, right? And so, yeah, like, there is this inherent creation of the other, but, like, that's just there. I feel like the other is just there. Like, if you separate and you have men and women, then you have an us versus them. And, like, that's just inherent. That's just, like, that's how it works. Like, in the world, when you create one group, and that automatically creates another group. And so this division, like, is inherently there. And I feel like that's alluded to in the piece. It's not, like, outright stated, but I feel like she does hit on that in tone and in some of the things that she says, because she talks about, like, recognizing the fact that females exist in the human species is inherently a way that we create this other group. Does that make sense? I don't know. Actually, I do, but it's okay.
Yeah, for me, it seems like the woman is constructed as the other.
Yeah.
Because the author, she quoted that, like, there's, like, two different sexes that never share the world, inequality.
Yeah.
Inequality. And, like, even today that there's a woman, like, there is heavily handicapped.
Yeah.
So, that's what the author one is saying.
So, we all agree that she's, like, constructing women as other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's constructing them as other. I think she's saying that we are constructed as other. But I don't think that she is inherently supporting that argument. Her argument is we need to be, all people, not just women, needs to be seen as humanity, not the divide between man and women and the gap there that exists.
So she just doesn't like the hierarchy thing. Like,
so maybe, like, what she's saying is she doesn't believe women are, like, should be wait, I'm, like, confused, so I just want to clarify. So what you're saying is she's not saying women are constructed as other, she's saying that's how society constructs them.
Yeah.
But is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So, like, she agrees that women, the, like, role in society in general, all that stuff, is constructed by society. And she recognizes that touching on this affects that hierarchy. Like, it validates it. It says, yes, this is a real thing. But her argument is, this is how we should be looking at it in order to get rid of this construction.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then, in what ways are women either constructed as the other or not constructed as the other? Like, I feel like we just talked about the piece, but this question is more, like, direct. So I feel like women are constructed as the other, like, in the Constitution, or, well, not in the Constitution, when, like, Congress passed the Violence Against Women Act, and they essentially made women a protected class. Like, there's a ton of laws, there's a ton of things like that, but, like, I'm protected as a class under the 14th Amendment. Like, I don't need another law telling me that, like, I'm a person. Like, I know that I am. I got it. I have my protection under the law and under the Constitution. And if I see something that's wrong, then I can go to court. I don't need these other laws telling me, like, yeah, you're a person. Like, I know I'm a person. You know, and, like, I'm supported by that in the Constitution by the 14th Amendment. And so, like, all these other laws, I feel like, are a good example of this construction of the other. Or, you know, they're trying to create this equality, they're trying to create this balance, this recognition that women are women, they're a group, like, they're humans too, whatever. But I feel like that actually creates and supports the hierarchy that is there. So,
yeah. Also, this is a little bit, I don't know if this is on topic or not, but this just reminded me of, like, how in the past there was a matriarchy. Like, if you look back through history.
Yeah.
Like, we constantly talk about the patriarchy, but it's like, we shouldn't be talking about, like, us versus them. It should be, like, what you said earlier, like, we're all one.
Yeah.
Like, we're all on the same playing ground in different ways.
Yeah. Okay. Mincing, if you want to comment. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Like, for me, like, this topic is kind of hard to say a lot about, like, a woman. But I really think that she just wanted to focus that, like, she didn't want people to argue about, like, the woman and the man. But she just wanted to, like, help people to think, like, we're all just, like, same. There's, like, no hierarchy thing. Like,
okay. Yeah.
The society makes it, so.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it also mentions movie clip.
Yeah.
I was thinking Handmaid's Tale, even though it's not a movie.
Okay.
I don't know if we're supposed to show the trailer or not, but I'm pretty sure we all know about Handmaid's Tale, right?
Yeah.
Basically, they are, like, objects of men, like, Offred, like, her name and stuff. I feel like that shows how, like, society kind of deems women as other. Like, it's a very exaggerated example of this. But I think it's necessary for people to realize, like, there are injustices and inequalities that need to be made, like, more balanced, and it's kind of just, like, showing the dangers of constantly viewing women as other.
Nice. That's a good one. That's really good. I like it. One that it's just the trailer, but in The Heist with Anne Hathaway, like the new one, they used the kind of like the other, and like Anne Hathaway says, like, use being a woman to your advantage, because, like, guys don't think that you're swindling them because you're not capable of it because you're a woman, when in reality, like, that is a huge strength that they have. And, like, research has shown, like, scholarly research has shown that, like, women can use being a woman in a campaign for their benefit, like, to win. And, like, the females who go in and are like, people are going to try to shoot me down, like, they do better, or, like, they can win, but the females who just go in and they use being a woman, like, to their advantage, they don't focus on, like, the negativity that's being around it, like, inherently, like, they don't talk about it, they just use that to their advantage, like, are more likely to win, which is really interesting, and The Heist reminded me of that. But, that's the movie trailer that I found, and I thought that was really interesting. Well, not interesting, but yeah.
So the movie trailer I found was called Hidden Figures.
Okay.
I watched it. I'm not sure if you watched it or not,
Yeah.
but in this movie, like most of the members in the society, they feel like they're insensitive and insignificant, even if like they experience and see the woman being discriminated
Yeah.
and treated unfairly.
Mm-hmm.
But later, there's like three main characters. They just fight against the unfairness and change the society a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's a really good one too, because that's layered not just with women, but with Black women
Yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
South.
Like,
So yeah, that's a really good one. Nice. Okay, so okay, we talked about this a little bit, but the question of how are these things seen as representing that society or not representing it or being foreign to it? I feel like it's kind of normal in society to have the hierarchy. I mean, like, obviously we've seen that. It's not like
Yeah.
a new thing.
Yeah.
But oh man, I don't know how to talk about this. This is like, yeah. This isn't something I like to talk about.
yeah.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi lights out.
Hey, you're good. Don't worry. I feel like we have done a sufficient job at talking about this.
Is it the wait? What question are we talking about?
Kind of all of it. I feel like all of our discussion has glazed over these questions. I guess, okay, how are they outside or inside what is considered normal for a given society? I feel like it's just become normal for women to be lower on the totem pole. Like, there are those social expectations, kind of. I mean, I can really only speak to, like, a few cultures and, like, the United States and just maybe a few other places because I've only lived in the United States and experienced living under their laws. But, I mean, in like, countries where Islam is really prevalent, you know, like, females
No.
are literally, like, lower. And it's not because, like, the Quran actually says that they need to be. People have come out and been like, that's not what the Quran says. Like, Malala Yousafzai has come out and been like, okay, this is ridiculous and we deserve these same. But, like, in Pakistan, like, women are lower and there's those social expectations of, like, this is where you sit. You can't go outside. Everything needs to be done through a man. And, you know, like, your husband gives you permission. He walks you to town or your brother walks you to town. In China, this is very prominent in the early Chinese culture. I don't know if it still is or not. I haven't gotten there in that class yet. But, like, I feel like it's normal for women to be, like, for it to actually be that social hierarchy. I feel like we're watching that change. We're trying to hope for that to change, and it is changing. But I feel like still the social norms are constructed around women being lower than men. What do you guys think?
In Korean culture, it's really similar.
Mm-hmm.
Like 50 years ago, like woman has to listen to like men
Yeah.
because men was the upper than like woman.
Okay.
They thought.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like it has been changed a lot.
Okay.
And I can see it in my house, like my grandfather and my grandmother. My grandmother always listened to my grandfather, but like my father, he always like talked to my mother. My mother is always win. So, I mean,
Yeah.
my society has been changed a lot.
Okay. Cool.
I think China is similar to Korea now.
Yeah. Interesting. Shelby, do you want to comment or not? You good?
I'm good on that one.
Okay. And I mean, I guess on the question after that, how are they seen as representing that society or not representing it? Kind of falls under that. Society's constructed by the social norms, so. Okay, I feel like we answered all these questions. How do y'all feel?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yep, I'll upload it and then send you the link.
Sounds good.
Alright, Bye.
Bye.